here, girl. Y'all overlook me because I look a mess.
Have you ever wondered that you are listening to KIRC Talk Radio, where talk is never cheap. You're listening to the Goulash Hour on KIRC Talk Radio, where talk is never cheap.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Wow, that was an interesting moment there. That was an interesting moment. But we're live tonight. This is the Goulash Hour. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you all could join us tonight. I'm excited because for the first time we are launching something new with the radio station, and that's our YouTube page. We want you to, we want you to join in with us by tuning into our YouTube channel, and I think that you'll be really pleased. So tell your friends, neighbors, family to join in with us on our YouTube channel. We posted it on Facebook. We're going to do that again. And what we're going to do tonight, we do have something we're going to talk about, y'all, but tonight is going to be our night to launch our YouTube. So we're going to be calling on people to join us and to tune in. That's what we're going to be doing. So, y'all bear with me. Oh, did this thing go down in there? Oh, wait. There we go. So, we are still getting some of these things together.
Oh.
So just bear with us, but it's all good. It's all good. I had to turn this mic down and make sure that Pretty Brown can be seen.
Hey.
And I think I'm sitting over here. I could have sat in front of her tonight, and we'll do it a little bit different. Let's see. I got this one. Yeah, so we got our headphones going. This one.
Is that going?
Oh, it is. There we go. See, I had the sound. I was watching it, trying to make sure that it was going just fine and everything. But hey, y'all, that's what we're doing tonight. Pretty Brown, we got to make sure, I'm trying to set the levels and make sure we can understand each other. I think we can hear one another here. Sound is good there. Yeah. Okay, so for tonight, y'all, just bear with us. What I want you to do is, if you're following us on Facebook or if you're following us on the radio, we want you to kind of tune into our YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to ask Pretty Brown, we're going to both go to our Facebook page, and we're going to post the link. We're going to post the link. I think what I should do probably is go get my laptop so that,
I just posted it.
Okay, so she posted it on Facebook already.
I tagged you in it.
She tagged me, and I got to get to Facebook. Yeah. Keep talking, Pretty Brown. What we talking about tonight?
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
A story in the making, right?
Well, yeah, because that's about what I'm dealing with right about now. Beauty and the Beast. And what's beautiful, I don't know what you want to call it. Because I'm...
It's like finding that silver lining when there's a storm. Like,
Really?
After the flood, the joy and...
Okay, wait now. She's speaking in a different language. So you're going to talk to me. What you mean by flood? Are you using symbolism here?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Symbolism. This is about. So, there we go. She tagged me in that. So I'm taking to my Facebook page and making sure we're live on the radio. Yeah, we're good on the radio. People can hear us. I'm going to Facebook. I'm telling everybody to join us on. Let me look and see, just in case y'all want to call in also, and you want to share in with us. Let's see, I got somebody on the line already. I don't know if they're just listening. Hey, if you're just listening, and you can continue to do that, but if you have a comment or a question, you can always press *6 on your phone, and you'll be placed in the queue if you want to ask a question or make a statement. But we'll be watching that tonight. Like I said, I'm getting ready to go there. And what Pretty Brown did tonight was she posted it, which is great. And she tagged me in it. This is what I want y'all to do. Are you live on Facebook?
I am.
Okay, you're live on Facebook. But I'm trying to get to the one. Where are we? I got so many people. So y'all bear with us. But yeah, we're talking tonight about, she said, Beauty and the Beast.
I know, finding that purpose within the pain. You know, like, so many times we get so wrapped up in how am I going to get through this, or, you know, everything is going wrong. Like, when is it going to end? Like, pain is never, like, eternal. I mean, there's no eternal pain. I mean, it's not something that's gonna last. Like, you might have been in pain last month, but do you remember pain? Like, thinking back, you can say, oh, you know, I was in pain then, but do you remember? Like, can you really remember pain?
Pain?
Like, you remember being in pain, but do you remember the feeling? Like, you can say, oh, this hurt, that hurt, but you can't go back and relive that feeling because you're no longer in pain.
No, but I tell you one thing. Well, I'm gonna let that go, cause you know, honestly, the pain that you and I probably talking about. Well, it comes and goes, right? But then you have some emotional pain that's with you for quite some time. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, and that pain is the pain that I'm talking about when you have to turn that pain into purpose. Like, what are you doing with that pain? Are you just gonna let it eat at you for the rest of your life and stop you from moving to the next level? Because your daddy wasn't there, or your mother wasn't the best mother, or you couldn't get Nikes, you had to wear Spalding. I mean, those people deal with that every day. And because they won't face the pain, they're trying to compensate. You know how many people I see trying to compensate for things they didn't have when they were children?
Exactly.
And they become adults that try to compensate, and they don't get it. And so they're steady going in a circle trying to figure out what to do when it's right. Everybody's born with a gift. No matter what, you know, no matter what your situation is, you went through that for a purpose.
Right. And
if you don't find a purpose from the pain that you went through, you're gonna forever be in the same place. So you're gonna get to, you know, the day whenever you're standing in front of those pearly gates or whatever you believe, and you're gonna be like, well, that's all? I mean, that's my life? What do I do with it? And then your dreamers are gonna be standing there like, we were always there, but you were so focused on that one little bit of pain that you didn't believe in yourself enough to take your pain and make it your purpose and use your gift to, you know, just excel and to move forward and to catapult yourself into another situation. And that's why, you know, I thought of the topic of beauty in the beast, because there's always beauty in every situation. You might not see it immediately, but there's always, like, there's never been a storm that didn't end in sunshine. You know, so it just depends on how the person perceives it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, you got a point there. Wow. Let's see here. I'm still doing, one of the things I would say about pain, emotional pain. That's what I'm thinking about. You know, pain that's caused by somebody else. Because I'm dealing with something now somebody help me here. I'm dealing with something right now, you know, emotional pain. It leaves scars sometimes that are, you know, that may be unbearable, if I may say, you know. It concerns me. This part concerns me. Well, you know, I find it difficult for me to get through, to get beyond. And I was hearing you saying, turn that pain into purpose, turn it into purpose. Do something with it. And all I wanted to do was just release by crying. I just wanted to scream. I wanted to, you know, I needed to get rid of this emotional pain that I'm dealing with, you know, for the moment. That it may not mean anything next week. But at the moment, you know, how, and maybe you can help me, and if I got people listening, maybe y'all can call in and share, but how do you turn that immediate emotional pain into purpose? How do you get yourself out of a position of thinking you just want to give up, just forget all of this? You don't want to deal with it anymore because of, things that come up. How do you get yourself out of the mood thinking that way?
And I've dealt with that a lot lately, and definitely, in these last few years, is dealing with that immediate pain. And one thing that I've learned from the things that other people do to me is, what's their reason? What's the motivation for them? Because a lot of times people do things out of spite. People do things because they don't want to see you. They know that you're at your breaking point, and they knew that it was coming. But now that it's here, how can I stop Coach Ray? Or how can I stop, Pretty Brown from reaching that next level? What can I do to throw a speed bump in the way to make us slow down? And so they'll try that.
They will.
And what I've done with those kind of people and that kind of energy is I've used it against them.
How?
So whenever they come at me negatively, I turn that negative into just more, for me, I turn it into a reason why I have to get out of this situation. Because sometimes we get complacent and we know what we should be doing. And instead of doing what we should be doing, we lollygag and we procrastinate and we take our time and we give inch by inch when that person is pushing us, and we keep backing up and we keep backing up and keep backing up. Eventually, we're going to back up into that wall, and there's not going to be any more pushing. And that's going to be the time whenever you have your breaking point to where I don't need this. And, Steve Harvey said at some point you have to jump.
At some point, I like that, At some point you have to jump.
And, and with him saying that, when it's, at some point you have to jump. If you don't jump, you can be safe, like he said, you can be safe on the ground, but you won't know your full potential unless you jump.
So you telling me
that pain,
if I'm dealing with something right now, what? Jump, or I'm listening.
So I think that if you're dealing with something right now, if there is something or someone that's constantly, just hitting that nerve over and over again, you have to, you gotta jump. You either have to jump when it comes to the next month. What are we gonna do in the next few weeks? Because talking about it actually, because I fought myself for a lot of things that I haven't done. Because you can complain all day, and Lord knows that I've complained a lot. But if I'm not doing anything and I'm just complaining, I don't like my job, or I don't like this, and I do say those things, but what am I doing to get out of that situation? Because I'm still going to work every day.
Exactly. So hang on just a minute. Keep talking.
So and then actually just going. I've been reading a lot lately about just how other people. You hear stories about people living in their cars and then becoming millionaires, or then like Tyler Perry. He was homeless for a long period of time, and then all it took is one play, and he catapulted into a whole. Last night everybody was watching the Have and the Have-Nots, and people watching Greenleaf, and these are things that people started who didn't have anything. They had nothing, not even a place to live. And here we are, we might not have everything we want, but we can't keep staying in the same place expecting different outcomes. So we have to jump or stay frustrated.
We have to jump or stay frustrated.
And I know that I'm like, we can hold on to the sides. It's like swimming in a pool. When you first get in the pool, you hold on to the sides because you don't know how to swim. And it's not until you kind of trust the water, and you don't even trust yourself enough to let go. Even if you can stand up in the water. You still hold on to the side.
See, she said you still hold on to the side.
Because I know me. For a long time I held on to that side because I didn't trust the water that I was in. So I was afraid of sinking. And then at some point I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this, and I decided I was either gonna sink or swim.
Sink or swim. And one of the things that touches me right now because of what I'm dealing with just at this very hour is you may not always have the answers. And it's okay. But one of the things you can tell yourself, and I'm having to talk myself out of this this feeling that I have. You know, sometimes you may not think about it right away, but this is what I'm doing. I'm trying my best to talk myself through this feeling that I have, this emotional pain that I'm dealing with right now. I'm trying to talk myself through it by saying, you know what, it's gonna be all right. Keep pressing. Focus on something else. It's all good. It's not the end of the world. You can make it through this. These are the things that are going through my head, and I'm saying to myself because I want to make sure that I don't let it take over me.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes pain can get so great. You know, I was listening to, I was reading an article about, it was a news report about a young woman, I say young woman, about a woman who committed suicide. It was supposed to be a murder suicide. She shot her partner, her husband, whatever the man was, but he survived. He was in critical condition, but she then turned and killed herself. And I was, thinking about that on the way here and saying, how do we allow the pain to get so great that it consumes us to the point where we want to take our own lives? Now, I'm not at that stage, but I'm saying people get to that point. People allow their hurt, their pain to be so great that they cannot focus, they cannot think on anything else. I'd be the first person to tell you, been there, done that, and was thinking, contemplating things, and just like I'm sitting here talking to Pretty Brown, she's sitting in front of me, and I don't have time to focus on the hurt, because I could, something went on before the show, and I could allow it to consume me, and throw up my hands, forget it, don't worry about it, but I didn't. I'm glad she's here, because it was just like somebody else right next to you. You may have to do that sometimes. Pretty Brown is find somebody near you that can break that.
Definitely. That can deflect.
Yes,
that
exactly.
pain, because a lot of times it's hard to, especially when it's an emotional pain.
Yeah.
Physical pain, you can take some Tylenol, you can take something and it'll subside. But emotional pain, especially when it comes from somebody close to you, it can really consume you. And I think that a lot of people get into situations and we become so numb when someone's always crying, or someone's always nagging, or someone's always, just doing something. And we'll get so insensitive.
Yeah.
We'll get so insensitive because it's not affecting us negatively, to where we're like, oh, here she go again, or here he goes again, or he's always whining, or he's always, instead of trying to get that person help. So you allow this person, instead of feeding the positive, you feed the negative. And people say, oh, you want to, people think it's funny whenever people say, oh, I want to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? And people say that they don't take it serious because they're like, well, you ain't done it yet. Or they'll say certain things and they'll just feed into the negativity. And when someone keeps hearing negative, they're going to they might not want to kill themselves.
Exactly.
They might, but they want you to stop them.
Right.
And then they might get to a point to where, okay, they know, well, I'm going to kill myself. They'll try to go do it, and then they'll back out. But what about that time when they don't?
What about the time when they don't? Yeah.
What about the time whenever it is a situation where it's a mass murder or it's a murder-suicide, and the person that's on the murder side gets murdered and they actually die?
Right.
And what about those times people are like, oh, well, she was trouble or he was trouble?
See?
And then you want to, and that's why I came up with the type, again, the whole Beauty and the Beast thing is because families are so reluctant, especially in the African American culture, to not get into each other's business because, well, I don't want to be in her business, or I don't want to say that. But especially when it's like, and I'm a woman, so I can only speak from a woman's perspective. So this goes from women and men because I know situations are different. But as a woman, I was in a relationship for a very long time. And when you love somebody, it's kind of hard to see the flaws because things don't happen overnight. No one is ever abused in one day. It's not like, oh, we're together on Monday, Tuesday, you're knocking me out, Wednesday, it's even worse. It's a progression, so it takes time. And by the time you realize that you were being abused, you've been abused for about 4 or 5 years. And it might not be physical. It could be just something that's mental, to where belittling you or saying things that are making you believe. Because I mean, a person keeps hearing the same thing over and over again, they're gonna believe it.
Right.
And we have families that know when a person gets in a relationship.
Exactly.
Well, the last 10 girlfriends he had, he abused them. And no one will say anything.
Wow.
No one will say anything. But
right.
people don't realize you push somebody too far, they're gonna jump. And it could be a negative jump or it could be a positive jump.
Wow.
And you want to say, oh, well, she killed him. Or, oh, well, she hurt him. Or now he in jail for killing her. That could have been stopped if somebody would open their mouth. And because we don't open our mouths, people are walking around sad. People are walking around depressed. People are walking around not understanding their gifts. They're standing, they're complacent. They're just not, that motivation isn't there because no one's pouring into them. Like I had a friend he was on, he's a pastor, and he was talking, he had a video and he was talking about how, a lot of times people will call him as a minister and say, minister, can you pray for me? Can you do this? Can you do for that? Can you do that?
Right.
But when are they pouring back into him?
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
And that's where I say people, we're so caught up in our own feelings that we forget about the people who helped us, or the people that got us there.
You said it.
And even in business, business owners, there has to be a point to where your employees have to not just be your employees. You have to think that these people have lives too.
That's interesting.
And sometimes people don't think that.
No.
Oh, your life is just to make my dreams come true. What about my dreams?
Isn't that girl? You said something there. Oh my.
What about what I want to do? What about how I want to live my life? I don't want to work for you for the rest of my life.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? Say, you make so much sense. And if you're not careful, you will allow that to interfere with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to live life to the point where, and I'm gonna say this, that you've got to allow yourself to get beyond some things, so that you keep your sanity, and then you can keep your eye on the prize. Sometimes pain is self-induced, self-inflicted, and I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, and yet I want to believe that I can overcome any of the self-inflicted wounds, that I give myself, or the pain that I cause myself. But I'm finding out that if I'm not careful, I can create, or I can inflict the pain to the point where it becomes very difficult for me to get out of. And so I think it's important that we all recognize the things that causes pain for us, and try not to do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because emotionally, sometimes it can be very draining. And I think in the situation with the young woman, sometimes you can allow your emotions to lead your decisions, and when it does that and you can't find a way out, when you don't see a way out, you resort to things that
you wouldn't
can be
yeah.
that you wouldn't normally do, like you were gonna say, or that could be detrimental, life ending.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that if people use that pain, like everyone was given a gift.
Yeah.
No matter what your belief is,
No
there's
matter.
something that you can do better than anybody else. And while we're sitting here moping around with this woe is me, look at your past. Don't forget about it, because it's there. Look at it and think about everything that you've been through, with however long it's been. Your life could have been easy for a very long time, and then one day everything just left. Just look at those situations and figure out what it is in you that still has you going. What's your motivation? What's your drive? What's making you keep pushing? Because there's something. Whether you're just sitting on the couch, you still waking up every morning. If you're going to work every day, you're still doing something. But figure out what it is in you that you can do. Because everyone has a gift. And once you use that, and once you figure out your gift
Yeah.
and figure out what you're good at, that's
Yeah.
the key.
Okay, she's gonna say this again. Once you figure out what
you're good at.
what you're good at,
That's the key.
and then what? She
Yeah.
said that's the key, y'all.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Then do it.
I
Is
mean-
that the jump?
That's the jump.
That's when you jump.
That's when you jump. And you use that pain as leverage. Because when you lose the pain as leverage, I mean, what better way to look at your past and say, "Ha, you thought you had me," because it thought it had you. These
Right.
people who are constantly speaking negative, I mean, like your dreams. People say, "Oh no, you can't do that. Oh no, you can't do this. You can't do that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yes I can." But because we're creatures of emotions
Okay.
and habit,
Gotcha.
we'll allow our situation to become our outcome. That's not
Wow.
your forever.
Wow.
Unless you make it your forever. If you
It
good,
doesn't have to
you're
be,
good.
right?
But if you're okay with living in a 2-bedroom apartment, I'm not. If you're okay, doing certain things, I'm not. But that's my choice.
That's your choice.
And something that I had to learn, because I can only, like I said, I can only talk about me. One thing that I had to learn is that not everybody is gonna like me.
Right.
So not everybody's gonna like Pretty Brown. It is what it is. Some people think I'm bougie. They think I'm stuck on myself. They think everybody want me. Whatever they think that they think.
And they might.
And they might, they might want me like that. But whatever it is that they think, I don't care. And so when you learn to stop caring what other people think, when they do things against you, I cannot stand some of the people I work with.
Yeah.
And that's been years and years of that. But I look at them and I'm like, dude, you really don't. I get off in about 45 minutes. I'm good. So I don't have to see you no more.
Yeah.
I know I gotta see you tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I'm already ready for you
See.
tomorrow. So nothing you can say to me,
Right.
nothing you can do to me.
Right.
You can try to keep me
I
here,
love it. I
past
love
the
it.
time I'm supposed to be here, but I'm still gonna work on me. I'm gonna still do me at the end of the day because this is temporary.
Yeah.
What I have in store for me,
Right,
and what
right.
God has in store for me,
Right.
that's permanent.
That's permanent.
You can't allow these people or no one to make you feel bad. They can't, no one can shut me up. There was a time people could shut me up.
Right.
And I wouldn't say nothing. I wouldn't do nothing. I'd just be like, whatever. I mean, even talking to y'all right now, I would have never even
Really?
thought about it. But there came a time I love to talk.
So she said she
And-
loved to talk. Go on, girl. Talk, girl.
And, people might be okay talking to 10, but I want to talk to 10,000. I mean, that's just me, though.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I want to do. People might be okay with going to work every day. I'm not okay with that. I don't want to work for somebody else. So what do I have to do to not work for somebody else? I have to stop being lazy.
Ah.
So when I'm not at my regular 8 to 5,
Say, stop being lazy.
everybody, I have the same 24 hours as Oprah, as Steve Harvey, as Bill Gates, Donald Trump.
Okay, girl.
We all got the same 24 hours, but it's what we do with it.
It's what we do with it.
It's what we listen to. It's what we allow. I mean, lately, I haven't even been really listening. I do listen to Lemonade. But outside of Lemonade, and I've only been listening to gospel and, a little bit of Zydeco, and motivational videos and stuff. And one thing that I've learned since I've started that is it's changed my outlook.
Okay, something's in my eye, my contact. Keep talking, girl.
It's changed my outlook because I don't look at it I don't look at things as just pain anymore. I don't look at because I could have given up a long time ago. With the things that I've been through in life, when I tell my story, people be like, dang, they don't believe that I'm still happy, that I'm still smiling. But why not? I broke 13 bones in a car accident. Okay, but I learned, I taught myself how to walk again when I was told that I couldn't.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have. One of my children died. Well, they also told me I couldn't have kids, and I had that one plus 2 more.
Wow,
so I have
really?
3 now. So people have told me my whole adult life that I couldn't do something.
Really?
And so now I'm like, okay, God,
wow, yeah.
okay, like I said, y'all might believe something else, but I believe in God, so this is how I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, God, I done been through a car accident and broke 13 bones.
Wow, listen to you.
And I learned how to walk. I learned how to wear heels, and I'm still doing my thing. You know, I can still
I
move
love
around,
it.
and I'm still cute. You know,
Yeah,
so it didn't mess me
yeah.
up too much.
Yeah.
You know, then they told me I couldn't have children. Then
Really?
I had twins, and
Wow.
I was like, dude, like, I mean, I went from no kid, not being able to have any kids, to having twins, and one of them passing away.
Wow.
But I made it through that. That was pain. I mean, the car accident was physical pain.
Right.
Mental pain is losing your child.
Wow.
But I still made it through it.
And that's what's so interesting. You say you still made it through it. Something had to click on the inside of you not to give up. What was it?
I think for me it was my Hannah.
Really?
Yeah, I think Hannah for me, like, you know, having Hannah and Haley, I was just doing me.
Wow.
You know, I was modeling, I was working, I was bartending at a strip club. I mean,
really, girl?
this was
You
me.
go, girl.
So, I mean, I was living life. My car accident, I was living life. I was in a 4.5-year relationship forever. And I was safe. Like, he was safe with the church. You know,
Right,
we came
right.
home, we was gonna get married. We had it all figured out. And then we broke up. I got reckless. He became a pastor. I mean, it's what it is. So, and
Wow.
but I got reckless, and then God humbled me, and I got in a car accident. So I started living right again, and then, bam, you know, I started going to the club, promoting clubs, bartending at the strip club. Like, I was like clubbing it up, making it rain. I was throwing money. I mean, I had it all figured out. Like, I was living.
She said she was living, girl.
But I knew I've always been in the church. My mom and, you know, my family raised me into the church my whole life. But when you go into adulthood, especially when you've been in such a structured environment, you kind of wild out, and, you know, your girl wild out. So thank goodness that I made it through. I mean, I thank God that I didn't become a statistic.
Yeah,
you know,
could have,
because
right?
I really could have. Like, man, like, I was
just listening to what you've gone through. I mean, okay, y'all. I don't know if anybody's experienced this. I have not, but she has. And to talk about it from where she is right now, the place where you are mentally. But when you lose a child, I don't know what that's like. I can't even begin to know the feelings there.
Losing a child is one of the hardest things. Like, really, it's one of the hardest things I've ever gone through.
Wow.
But I am a very strong believer that God will never put more on you than you can bear.
Yeah.
Because He gave me 2.
Yeah.
And when He gave me 2, He gave me both sides of the deal to me. And when I had Hannah and Haley, they told me Hannah wasn't gonna make it.
Wow.
And Hannah's 8 now, you know, and so they told me Hannah wasn't gonna make it, and Haley would be okay. She just needed a couple surgeries, and she would be good. And so I had them on Sunday. They were in the NICU in Memorial Hermann, and Haley had surgery on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday to Thursday, Haley had surgery. Hannah's still sedated. Baby ain't moved. She just been out, knocked out.
Wow.
They under the jaundice light. They got air cords and
Is this
stuff.
the accident you were in?
No, this is just for me having them.
Oh,
I was
so
supposed to
you-
have babies.
Oh, wow.
And then the first time I get pregnant, I'm having twins. I was
Twins.
like, really? So, you know, having them at 29 weeks, you know, so that was fairly early. It was exactly 7 months to the day. They weren't ready.
Okay.
I couldn't even touch them. Like, you couldn't even like hold them because the nerves weren't connected, so they would hurt. That would be putting them in pain. So, you know, Haley, that Saturday, you know, I'm pumping away because, you know, I'm a breastfeeding mom. I believe in breastfeeding. That's just me. And they call me and they're like, everybody's like looking for me. I'm like, dude, I'm just in the breastfeeding room, you know, trying to pump or whatever. So they call me and they're like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, what do I want to do about what? And I'm like, I mean, and they're like, well, Haley's heart rate is dropping really fast, and she's having a whole bunch of A's and B's. She's not really responding. What do you want to do? And I was like, mind you, I'm 24.
Wow.
So I'm like, what do you mean? What do I want to do? And they're like, well, you have to decide if you want us to keep her on this stuff, because this is what's keeping her alive, or do you want us to let her go? So,
Oh my God.
I have a child that's laying here, sedated, that y'all told me isn't going to make it because she has a grade 3 bleed. And this other baby that y'all told me was gonna make it, now she has heart failure.
Oh
So
my.
I need to take a walk. I mean, give me a second. Let me
Wow.
take a walk. And I took a walk, and they had this little soda machine area, and their dad was there, and he was like, well, you know, I say leave her on. I mean, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
And so we had to have a come to Jesus moment for real, with Jesus and his daddy.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I take Haley off of this, it has to be whatever your will is. I mean, I'm gonna accept it. So they told me if they took her off, she could still live, or she passed away within a few hours. Okay, so we take her off, and I had to make that decision.
Wow.
So how I made the decision, I couldn't tell you. I prayed about it. It was all in like 5-10 minutes because they didn't give me that long, so I didn't have like hours to figure it out. I had about 5 or 10 minutes to figure it out, and you know, I was like, you know what, God, you know, I went through this car accident a year ago.
Yeah.
I made it through. I had these 2 babies. You know, it wasn't the way I planned to have them, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna make it through.
Wow.
So whatever you decide to do with this baby, let me tell you, if Haley passes away, I'm gonna need you to get it together with Hannah because she ain't gonna be able to pass away. Or me and you gonna have to part ways. And that's just how I went to God. I mean,
wow.
that's how it was.
Did y'all hear that? Wow, girl.
And I didn't care. I was like, I don't care what I got to go through. I don't care if she has to be on medication. I didn't care. But Hannah's gonna have to live. If you want Christina Pretty Brown Johnson to follow you for the rest of her life, God, I'm gonna need you to get it together up there, and you're gonna have to save this other one.
Wow.
So I held my child for 3 hours while she passed away. I felt her take her last breath.
Oh.
My family was able to get there and, you know, and see her through and to sit with me. But it was hard. That part really wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was actually the funeral. For me,
wow.
just because burying your child is probably the hardest part because
Okay.
although she passed away, that moment having to walk away from her and not being able to take her with me was more so, but I had to leave her there. And I have my moments when I go to visit her,
Yeah.
but those are just moments. I can't keep going back because she's not there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what people have to realize when people pass is that they're not there. That is called a corpse.
Wow.
You know, they're not there. It's just
They're not
them
there.
laying there. It's their body, their physical.
Yeah.
But they're not there. So you're gonna have to let it go. Like you have to.
That's interesting you say that.
That pain. It's
yeah,
painful.
that's what I'm saying. I'm listen at you. Gosh, go ahead, girl.
It's painful, but you have to understand that none of us are gonna stay here.
Yeah.
So once you get that in your head that none of us are gonna stay here, you have to make peace within yourself to let it go. Like I don't mourn for Haley. I mourn for me more than I mourn for Haley because I still gotta deal with this world.
Yeah.
I don't mourn for her because she's in a better place.
Okay.
And I don't have this, woe is me when my baby passed away and this and this, let me go take pictures of the grave site. Baby, let that go.
Right.
I get so tired of seeing people take pictures at grave sites. That's a grave site. If you hanging around grave sites, you're not going nowhere. It is what it is. You gotta stop going because that person is out there. You let them be there. You leave them there. That memory is in your head.
Yeah.
It's not at that grave site because that's where, why are you gonna go hang with the dead?
I think what you're saying too, girl, Pretty Brown, is if you all can look at the I'm gonna say metaphorically speaking, she's speaking literally, yes, about death and pain, but let's look at it metaphorically and pain in life and what it means. Here she dealt with a situation where death was involved. And sometimes in life, you know, no matter what the situation is, I'm speaking of pain and what pain is. Sometimes you have to take pain to the grave site and leave it there.
Leave it
you know?
there.
And because if we continue, an old saying from a former pastor, if you continue to rehearse it and nurse it, curse it, it will be a part of you forever, you know.
Yes.
And not taken away from what Pretty Brown just said, it's truly amazing what she has had to endure and still come out of it strong. What I'm saying is this: I could have something really simple. You know, we are affected differently by pain, emotional, physical, either one of those. Okay, And so when I'm listening to Pretty Brown say, it's a corpse, then look at the pain that you may be dealing with and ask yourself, is it something dead? I mean, can you do anything to resurrect it so that the pain isn't there? And if so, okay, do it. But if not, go bury it
and
move on, right? Yeah. Move on. I love the way she put that, because that's kind of what I was dealing with tonight. I could have stayed in the stupor that I was in and allowed it to fester and take control of me and my actions, and yet I'm grateful that Pretty Brown brought this out. I mean, this was a topic that she was talking about for something else, and I took it to mean that this was supposed to be tonight's topic.
And
she
it
said,
was.
no. And it was tonight's topic. We got started late, but I needed to hear it, because there are times in my life when I'm dealing with pain. My sister-in-law just lost her husband. The funeral was this past Friday. And I can't begin to imagine what she's going through, because I've not experienced that. And I know there's pain there. And as I think more about pain and how we deal with it, we can choose to allow it to consume us. There are some pain receptors in our bodies, that, if you pinch or burn your hand, let's say if you burn your finger, that pain is going to be there for a minute. I don't care what you do. It's going to be there, right? Nothing.
No butter.
None of that. Actually, it'll cook more. But there's just some things you can't do. There's nothing you can do about some of the pain. And sometimes you have to endure it and then ask yourself the question, how do I go through this with the pain? There's sometimes when you have stomach aches, and there's nothing you can do.
You can't do nothing about it. That's something that's going to hurt. You're going to have to feel it for a moment. And that's how it goes. And that's how I felt. Yes, I was in pain. But am I going to sit here and sit in this pain? Or am I going to go take care of this other kid that they said wasn't going to make it?
Wow.
So that was my choice. Either I was going to sit there and feel sorry for myself or move forward. Am I going to sit here and never have another kid because of my first pregnancy, I went into labor early? No. I'm about to defy. I believe that God only puts so much on you.
I believe.
And I believe that, yes, it happened once. And I was I was on top of everything. I wasn't eating certain things. I wasn't doing certain things. I mean, I was reading every parent magazine when I was pregnant with Hannah and Haley. I was doing everything right.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't about that. That's not what it was about. It was about me. And God really tested my faith, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
And can you imagine me losing my daughter on Saturday, which was my niece's birthday, so I felt so horrible. It was her first birthday.
Yeah.
And then having to turn around the following Wednesday and speak to a mother who lost her child.
Wow.
Like I didn't lose my child 4 days before.
Oh my goodness.
So it was because I know God. He used me as a vessel for somebody else. And I know that that's what my purpose is. Because the things that I've been through, I've helped other people with their situation.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. I don't mind the things that I've gone through, because I'm gonna get over it anyway. I can go through something tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna be good the day after tomorrow, because I know better. And that's just how I am. And people think I'm heartless, or people think that I'm insensitive. No, I have feelings, and my feelings get hurt. I'm emotional. I might not let everybody see my emotions.
Yeah.
But there are some people that see my emotions. They probably think I'm the most emotional person in the world. But I can't. If I show my breakdown, how can I go out and tell somebody about what I believe in if I'm not believing in it?
That's true.
How can you say, oh, I love God and I do this and I do that, and you walk around accepting depression?
Right.
You're walking around accepting that you're never going to be more than you are right now. How can you say that, oh, the God has been good to me, and you're not using your gift that you know that you have? Because at a certain age, you know your gift. And whether or not you want to use it, that's on you. But you know your purpose in life.
Yeah.
And if you don't put yourself on in a platform, you might not be meant to be a millionaire. But you might supposed to, it might be a circle of people around you that you're supposed to touch.
You got a point.
And if you don't touch those people, then what are you doing?
Right.
You're just a body taking up space and air, polluting the system. You have to figure out what was the purpose for your pain. Like my purpose for my pain was not for me.
Okay, see, I gotta write that. I gotta write that somewhere. I'm trying to write it down here. Okay, she said her pain was not necessarily for her. There are times when the pain is for somebody else. Wow.
How could I knew from a young age that I would be talking to young people or women or people in here. Wow. I mean, I've always known that. So, I mean, there was times when I was 12, grabbing people babies in my daddy's church, praying over them. And I don't even think I knew how to pray. I mean, but those things that I just did naturally. It came to me naturally to do it. And, because I can feel people. I mean, I do really well, like feeling people's energy and stuff like that. Like I can just feel when something's not right. And if I could be someone else's miracle, then my work is done. Because
if
sometimes
you can be somebody else's miracle, girl, say that.
Because sometimes people need to know they're not by themselves.
Yeah.
And not everybody's gonna be me. Not everybody's gonna hit a brick wall and go find the door in the dark. Not everybody's gonna do that.
Right.
Some people are gonna hit that brick wall and stand there, trying to, just looking at the wall, trying to figure out, well, what am I gonna do now?
Right.
And unless somebody stands up and says, well, this is what you're gonna do, or I've been here before, or I'm here for you. Some people just need a smile.
And that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Some people just need to know, oh, you know what, I was thinking about you. I am the most random person in the world. So I might not talk to you for like 5-6 years, and then I'll call you and you answer your phone. I'll be like, hey, what you doing? And you'll be like, well, who is this? I would talk to you like you know who it is. And that's just me though. Yeah. Sometimes you have to it's bigger than you and I.
Wow.
Like everything, I mean, like I said, I've broken 13 bones, I've lost a daughter, I was in an abusive relationship. It is what it is. Now, what am I going to do with it?
Now what?
I'm going to talk to some woman that's being beat. I'm going to talk to some women where I see the spirit of their man that I see that I had to deal with. I mean, and I see those things, and not everybody's going to accept it. Not everybody's going to say, you know what, Pretty Brown or PB, you're right. You're right, I should walk away from this situation. Because people give life to so many dead situations. Yeah. Like, you cannot change. I mean, what's it saying? You can't change, you can't give a tiger a new stripe, so you can't change whatever. You can't change it. Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah, that one. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. So, if the dog keep wagging its tail, you want to stop. It ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop. People are gonna do what you allow them to.
That's true.
And if you allow somebody to treat you like crap,
right,
you can't get mad for them treating you like that.
Mad.
Because you know better. And so you're in a dead situation trying to make life into it. It's dead.
It's dead.
You can't change nobody. No. You can't make somebody love you. You can't make somebody want to be with you. You can't make someone love themselves.
No.
So why stay in a situation where it's not taking you anywhere?
That's that self-induced
Yes.
pain. Yeah.
Like, what is the purpose in that? Nothing.
Nothing.
There's no purpose. You're blocking your own blessings because you're staying with boo-boo over here. And you could be with, you know what I'm saying, somebody else.
Exactly. Y'all
staying with people that y'all are not meant to stay with. This is 2016. This isn't 1980 and 1970 or 1990. Right. This is 2016. Things are a little different now.
A little bit different.
So, unfortunately, because it's different, people know game. Like, the internet will teach somebody how to get over somebody real quick.
And they do that. Y'all know y'all do that too.
They do.
The internet will teach you how to get over somebody real quick.
Yes.
Wow.
And just because you're not using your gift don't mean that somebody else don't know your gift.
That's interesting.
And somebody know that you're kind-hearted, guess what they're going to do? A user going to always be a user.
She said a user going to always be a user. That's true.
And if you letting somebody, you know your purpose is to give.
Yeah.
But if you're giving the people that's using you, what's the point of giving?
Wow.
Because there's somebody out there that really needs you. But you sitting up here giving to somebody that don't need you.
Giving to someone who doesn't need you.
And there's a lot of people that I see.
Self-induced pain.
Yes, there's a lot of people I see and I know that are giving themselves 100% to somebody that's not even giving 30. Cause you say you love me. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What I mean, like that. What are we gonna do with that? After you love me, now what? What we gonna do? Sit there and look at each other? You know, I mean, at some point, you gotta be a little, you know.
Yeah,
Well, I don't want to be a gold digger, but I don't want to be broke either. I mean,
y'all heard it.
you know, I mean, at some point, you have to look beyond
Yeah.
the exterior.
Right.
Look beyond not wanting to be alone.
Look beyond.
Look beyond your pain. Look beyond your struggle. Look beyond your insecurities. Look beyond the person that hurt you 10 years ago and say, hey, what am I going to do for me? What am I doing for me to make me happy? Because Pretty Brown going to be happy. And if you ain't making me happy, it is what it is. I'm going to buy Felicia.
Right.
And even me, I'm real good at saying bye to situations because I don't let things get to me. But there are certain situations that I know that I've said bye to that didn't deserve a bye. And so that's where you going too far kind of comes, you know, into the picture because then you got to reel it back and go back to that person and say, you know what, maybe I was tripping, you know. And it is what it is, but you have to be able to accept your flaws. And if you can't accept your flaws and you can't accept the fact that sometimes you're going to need.
Some people cannot.
They can't. Oh, man. You can't tell some people that they're wrong.
Ooh.
Can you imagine?
Lord help me.
You know that person be like, babe, I'm right all the time.
Oh, and they don't even have to, they don't even have to say it like that. They just
know it.
They shut you down, have you believing that, you know, or having you question yourself. Wait a minute, are they right or no? Y'all better know you for you. You better understand. Don't. And I will just say this here. You know, I was dealing with something when I came in tonight, but I will say this: check yourself on the self-induced pain, y'all. We cause ourselves a lot of stress and anguish that we don't have to, simply by looking at our situations and asking ourselves the question. Pretty Brown alluded to it earlier. Ask yourself the question: how important is what you're dealing with going to be in the next 72 hours?
Yeah, you have to
and
be
then
like
ask the next 6 months. If it's not going to be relevant to you in the next 6 months, I mean, that's some time given. Don't spend too much time on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't spend too much time on it. I've learned a lot just listening to Pretty Brown tonight. And this broadcast, it was meant to be. This broadcast was meant to be.
You gotta find beauty in the beast. I mean, that beast, this life, there's no instructions.
Yeah, none.
I mean, and sometimes, you know, we read our Bibles, we read whatever it is that we read to get by, but sometimes it's just like, man, I wish there was a Walmart manual somewhere in this thing, like, you know, because for this situation right here, I'm gonna need some help.
Yeah.
But that comes with growth and maturity. Whenever you mature within yourself, and you know whenever you can accept, because there was times when I didn't think that I was cute. There was times when I didn't think that anybody would want me because I had 3 kids by 3 different men, and now I'm like, oh, who cares? You know, like, I used to feel so bad, and I'm like, dude, the difference between me and the next chick is I didn't have 3 abortions. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, girl.
And people don't realize that. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the word, but you're not going to make me into a whore or something like that, because I know how many people I slept with, and I'm pretty sure it's less than half people listening tonight. You know? So,
wow, y'all heard it right here.
So,
Go, girl.
Know, but people will label you because
they will.
They don't know you.
They will. That's
and
true.
like for example, people thinking that everybody wants me. I think that everybody wants me. No, you think everybody wants me. I mean, because people don't.
You think that.
I mean,
I don't think that.
I don't think that, but you might think that.
You might think.
You know, my inbox really not popping like you think it is. You know, because I mean, I'm just not. I don't put myself out there like that, so people don't approach me like that. You know, you get your riffraff every now and then, but for the most part, stop trying. When you unhappy, don't try to go make somebody else unhappy.
Don't do that.
I mean, just fix it yourself. Don't worry about what I'm doing or what Coach Ray is doing. Because at the end of the day, we not worried about what you think.
Not at all.
Because your thought, it means it's only meaning something to you.
Wow.
So once it leaves your mouth, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I love it.
It doesn't mean anything. And whenever you know what you want to do, if you want to be a millionaire, how you going to get there? Figure that out. Figure out what you do good, and then start little.
Figure out what you do
So
good.
if you cut hair,
and jump. Ha ha!
make sure you jump.
I love it. Girl, look.
I'm
going to let Pretty Brown go and finish this out. Go on, take us, girl.
So, yeah, like I was saying, you know, if you know, if you can find your purpose in life, if you can use your pain, the things that you've gone through, connect the dots, figure out what kind of pain it is, figure out how you can turn it into something else. And if it's you cutting hair, I mean, do it. If you got a dream to cut hair, do it. I mean, you might start doing it for free at first. Give it away. Give your gift away. Somebody gonna pay you.
True.
You know, and then start charging. Charge $5. If you get 10 people, you know, or 100 people come bring $10. I mean, how much? That's $1,000.
That's true.
If you can charge 100 people $10 for a haircut, that's $100.
That's true.
I mean, so
y'all heard that. See.
So keep doing it, and then after that 100 people, do another 100 people. You know, and then do another 100 people, and then you keep doing it, and then you're gonna reach your goal. So whenever I hit this million in the next 12 months, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm right there.
You know, we're gonna, you know, do this thing together. So just make sure that you're not allowing your pain to consume your life. Don't let somebody else thinks of you, whatever you've been through, the mistakes that you feel like you made, it was all part of the plan. There's something inside of you that's unique that no one else can do. You need to figure that out. And a lot of you already know. Even though it seems very far-fetched and not even you can see it happening, if that's what you want to do, do it.
Do it.
Do it, because there's a lot of homeless people right now that's about to be millionaires because they going to get up one day and say, you know what, I'm already homeless, so let me not be homeless and let me do this thing. And then they're going to be millionaires, and you're going to be like, well, dang, they can do it. But you still sitting on your 9 to 5 because you get a check every week. Those checks every week will hinder you from doing your full potential. So stop letting those checks run your life. So, you know, if you can just get out of that work mentality, I got to pay bills. Them bills going to be there whether you at work right now or a millionaire tomorrow. You're going to still have the same bill. So you might as well jump.
Jump. That's what she said, y'all. She said it. I'm so excited. Let me say this. Thank you to those who are listening to us live on YouTube tonight. On YouTube. That's where we're going, y'all. We're going to be taking it to YouTube. We'll be broadcasting on the radio station on our YouTube channel from here on out. And you know, Pretty Brown, I was dealing with something and trying to see how I was going to broadcast my new show, the Rachel Riles Show. And I'm going to put up something tonight, a little bit later tonight, but I think my show is going to be at 9 o'clock.
Cool.
For now, anywhere between 9 and 9:30, and that's what we'll do. You know, tonight, I want to talk about something that Pretty Brown, she didn't know that she inspired, but she did for me. And that is finding the gift in you. What is the gift that God has given to you? And the reason why I say that, and you know, we'll talk about it later on tonight, because sometimes we miss the mark. We don't even recognize what God has placed in us. And you said something. If you're so focused on, and I'm not telling you that you're not supposed to have a job, you know, I'm not saying that, but you've got to find that gift inside of you, and that gift inside of you may not be conducive for a 9-to-5 job, you know. And sometimes, like Pretty Brown said tonight, Steve Harvey said, you got to jump. And jumping sometimes is frightening because you don't know where you're going to land. And I will just say this to all of you who are listening tonight. Thank you, Pretty Brown, for her smile, for her warm welcome, for her calming voice, in a time where for me it was a little chaotic. And if y'all didn't notice, we didn't start our show on time tonight, but you know, she was real calm and everything, and she helped keep the situation calm for me because I was, just dealing with some things, and I can appreciate it. And that happens sometimes. But you've got to understand, one of the things I recognize is that when those things do happen, there are some things that you got to tell yourself. You got to tell yourself.
You got to speak life into yourself.
Yeah, that's it. She said it right there.
You gotta be the light for your own love.
Wow.
Candlelight march,
yes.
know? You know how you said the candlelight marches back in the day?
Yes.
Wait, no, they still have them. But you gotta be your own little light. Cause
you gotta be your own light, yo girl.
sometimes that's the only lamp you got.
That's it. Sometimes that's, and that song, sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
Yeah, and that's my song.
Wow.
That's one of my favorite gospel songs. Yes, because
wow.
if you don't know how to encourage yourself,
Yeah.
how can you can't fully rely on the other people's encouragement.
And that's important.
Because it's not gonna always be there. If you allow your days and your nights to be dictated by what someone else thinks of you,
yeah.
you're never gonna reach your full potential, because you're gonna always worry about their justification for everything that you do,
Right.
and
right.
that's not gonna get you anywhere.
That's true.
When you know yourself and you can, no matter what anyone says about
Yeah.
you, it doesn't matter. You gotta. That's when you know that you have found it.
That's it.
But you gotta accept you. If you've been a drug dealer, if you were a rapist, no one wants to be raped, no one wants to be around a rapist. But you gotta accept your flaws.
You said
no
it.
matter what it is.
You got to.
And you gotta turn that flaw into something else. You gotta make it good. So if you was a rapist, and you don't want to be a rapist no more, go out there and teach people, educate people on what not to do, on the signs. I mean, do something to where it turns that negative into a positive. Because two negatives equal a positive. So if you keep getting negative, you don't get a positive, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
Just always find beauty in the beast.
Always find beauty in the beast. That's interesting. I like how she put that, because she said turning your pain into purpose. That is so true, y'all. Hey, it's been great tonight. I really appreciate it. Y'all join me again tonight at 9 p.m. right here on KIRC Talk Radio. And we're going to be live on our YouTube channel. But it won't be in the studio. We won't be in the studio, but you must join me for an episode of The Rachel Riles Show. And hey, you want to be a guest? Give us a call at the radio station anytime, 712-775-7085. Enter the access code
257034 #.
Yeah, you're gonna do that. But hey, it's been fun.
It has.
It really has. I can appreciate Pretty Brown and her, all of her encouraging words tonight. It really has meant a lot. Hope it's been something to you, and hopefully, hey everybody, you received something. If you thought that the words that she shared tonight were encouraging, uplifting, and in some way helpful, share this video with somebody. Share it. But hey, we appreciate you all, and we're gonna get out of here. All right, everybody. Thanks, YouTube.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. right here on KIRC Talk Radio. It's
Mark my words.
There it is. With Mark Hagan. Y'all want to be in the house. You want to be in the house, young people. You want to be in the house. Make sure that you do join us. All right, and I believe we're about to go.
We're out this thing.
See y'all later. Good night.
Good night.
All right, everybody. I gotta shut you down.
124.